Tesla stock is up about 3.5% today, well outperforming the broader markets as expected. But we do have some pretty great news for Tesla stock investors as well. First and foremost, Tesla's China insured registrations for last week came in at a stellar 15,500. This compares to 14,000 in this same week of last year and only 7,000 for this same week of 2022. This is in fact the second best week of this year. This is showing some real strength over in China. Subsequently, Tesla's stock is breaking above that 200-day moving average, which sits at $203.05. At the time of recording this video, Tesla stock is $204.65 on the doorstep of 205, which I do think is a pretty important level. I want to see us close above that level. If we don't, not a big deal. We are above that 200-day moving average, and that's the level that really matters. This could set us up for a run to that 211, which is that 50-day moving average, or even again as high as I said previously, about 215 by this Friday. But that will really depend on the economic data that comes out on Thursday, and to a lesser extent, but still an important point, CPI, which comes out tomorrow morning. The S&P is also making its way back to that 50-day moving average, up over 1% today. That is because PPI month over month came in lower than expected at 0.1%. You were expecting 0.2%. Core PPI month over month came in at 0%. We were expecting 0.2%. Last month was actually revised lower from 0.4% down to 0.3%. So better numbers across the board for PPI. PPI year over year was revised up last month from 2.6% up to 2.7%, but the number we got this morning was 2.2% year over year, coming in lower than the expected 2.3%, with some people's forecast as high as 2.6%. So literally across the board, this was much better PPI data than Wall Street was expecting. If we take a look at PPI by category, it's really just services at this point, making up 1.71% of the core PPI report. You can see this actually came in at 2.41 here. Construction 0.037, food 0.096, energy 0.01, goods less food and energy 0.395. Like, it's all services, but even service PPI is coming down. Whereas if you look here, it was rising for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Now services PPI just came down a lot from last month. And I think that's why Wall Street is specifically excited about the data today. This, I think, is pretty interesting from Morgan Stanley. They say, wonder why things are so bad in financial media, but don't play out in markets or the economy. The media focuses on companies with bad things to say about the consumer. Data for all corporate transcripts, however, shows companies citing consumer strength is still very high. And this is just a normalized trend at this point. This is mentions of consumer strength that were actually much lower in 2015, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 2020, 2021. And then you've seen the jump in 2022. It's been falling, but last quarter you did see quite a jump again in consumer strength mentions, which I think this is one of those things to say, you know, maybe there's not going to be a recession. I mean, there's so many things just conflicting each other to, are we going to have a recession? Are we not going to have a recession? It's really hard to tell. Like, this is another one. 42% of CEOs expected conditions in their own industry to improve over the next 6 months, up from 38%. Take a look at this. So, a brief and shallow U.S. recession with limited global spillover. In 2023, last year in Q3, 80% of CEOs were under that belief. Today, only 29% of CEOs are under that belief. 4% of CEOs back in Q3 of 2023 expected a deep US recession with material global spillover. Now it's 1%. That's a 75% reduction. For CEOs that say they do not expect a US recession, in 2023, that was not consensus. Only 17% of CEOs said no recession, basically soft landing. Today, 70% of CEOs say no recession, soft landing. Now, as market radar says over here, recessions don't happen when everyone expects them. We saw that in 2022. And that's also very true. Let me tell you right now, for Tesla stock specifically, the last thing you want is a recession. That is the worst possible scenario for your investment in Tesla stock. We would rather have inflation for another year or two rather than a recession for a year or two. I guess depending on how you look at it, if you have a very long-term time horizon, then you wouldn't mind a recession. You wouldn't mind Tesla stock falling 50 or 70% in value. But for most people, they probably don't want that. And that's why tomorrow's CPI report will be important. We need CPI to come in lower than expected. After today's PPI report, that looks like it's going to happen. It wouldn't even surprise me if core CPI is actually negative. That may not be a great thing for markets. We'll have to see. Deflation is worse than inflation. But specifically, that Thursday's retail sales number will be the big catalyst of this week. Last night, as I previously reported, Trump said, quote, "You do make a great product. I have to say, I have to be honest with you. That doesn't mean everybody should have an electric car, but these are minor details. But your product is incredible." And I do think some of these favorable comments are part of the reason why Tesla is outperforming today. I think the reason Tesla underperformed yesterday was the nervousness around this spaces with Elon and Trump. Like, what if Trump is not as friendly towards Tesla as we thought? Or Elon for that matter. So there was a little bit of, I think, selling or fear before that event last night. And yeah, there's no concerns over that at all. Trump and Elon, in fact, seem a lot more, I guess, if you will, buddy-buddy than I previously even thought. Elon Musk also said last night on sustainable energy and the economy, he said, quote, "It is something we need to move towards. People can still have a stake and drive gas cars. I don't think we should vilify people for that, but I think we should generally lean in the direction of sustainability. I think solar is going to be the majority of Earth's energy generation in the future. So you get the solar power and you combine that with batteries and you use that to charge the electric cars and you have a long-term sustainable solution." That's what Tesla's trying to move things towards. But when you look at our cars, we don't believe that caring about the environment should mean that you have to suffer. So we make sure that our cars are beautiful, that they drive well, that they are fast, and they are sexy. Model S, Model 3, Model X, and Model Y spells out sexy. It's probably the most expensive joke ever. I'm a big fan of let's have an inspiring future. Here we can see some daytime photos of Tesla's upcoming Hollywood diner and supercharger with their new futuristic steel siding. This is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie The Founder with Ray Kroc and McDonald's, but for whatever reason, it kind of reminds me of that. I don't really know why, but there is some incredible progress being made, and I can't wait to see how this thing operates when it does actually open. New York has announced $200 million in funding for school districts and operators to switch to electric school buses. Liberty Walk reveals a new wide-body kit for the Tesla Model 3 Performance that cost up to $7,920. Let me know what you think about this. Personally, it doesn't look bad in my opinion, I guess, but I mean, it's not my thing, at least for the Model 3. And starting today, Rivian will be charging $15 a month or $149 a year for all entertainment, streaming, and Wi-Fi hotspot features via their new Connect plus subscription-based service. A new study reveals hybrids could have up to 4.9x higher lifetime emissions versus battery electric vehicles. The higher manufacturing emissions for model year 2024 BEV sedans are, quote, paid off after approximately 15,200 miles of driving compared with an average conventional ICE at 25,600 miles of driving compared with an average HEV. The UAW today filed federal labor charges against Trump and Elon Musk due to something Trump said during last night's X Spaces. UAW said, quote, at one point, Trump and Musk were talking about workers who go on strike for better wages. Trump said if workers go on strike and you say that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So everyone is gone. Elon Musk is firing back. He says the last two UAW presidents went to prison for bribery and corruption. And based on recent news, it looks like this guy will join them. Tesla Boomer Mama on X says, would love for Elon to invite Trump to visit Giga Austin, increasing even more his understanding of EVs and Tesla products and services. Also, could also be the occasion to show him the installed megapacks there. And Elon Musk says, good idea. He is a huge fan of manufacturing in America, and Teslas have the most American content of any cars. Tesla has posted a new job listing for a 25 guns task force engineer, an elite group of Tesla engineers that report to Elon Musk. They solve the most challenging problems and were instrumental to the success of Giga Berlin. The role, quote, as part of an engineer on the 25 Guns Task Force, you'll be working on tough critical path projects and exciting challenges that do require immediate attention. These can be wide-ranging and located within different parts of Giga Berlin, with manufacturing engineering being at the core of it. Here on the day today, via the interesting flow sentiment over on Ortex, these are looking at large, unusual trades from hedge funds and institutions. You have seen 6 of those trades today, totaling $4.73 million, with a positive order value of 94%. So hedge funds, institutions seem very bullish on Tesla stock today. As far as the short interest of free float, it has recently fallen quite a bit, now down to 3.12%. So that's actually a good sign. As Tesla stock has fallen, you're seeing shorts covering. They're not adding to their short positions. Really just shows hedge funds, institutions, they're not very bearish on Tesla overall. They want to get out of those short positions instead of shorting more. You have $17.13 billion currently sold short in Tesla stock, totaling 86.75 million shares. You can see today you have return shares of 2.4 million, borrowed shares of 146,000. So it looks like about 2.3 million shares today are being covered on. This is a lot of covering over the last couple of days. And it does lead me to believe maybe a larger upside move could be coming for Tesla stock. Sentiment for Tesla stock today over on StockTwits is unchanged from yesterday, still sits at 56, which is bullish. Message volume today is a lot higher than yesterday. Yesterday you came in at 43, which was considered low. Today you're normal at 53, and the participation ratio today is high at 56. Google Trends data for Tesla products continues to ramp higher. The Model Y going from 25 now to 28. The Model 3 going from 24 to 26. The Model S going from 10 to 11. The Model X going from 8 to 9. Where the Cybertruck is actually falling from 74 to 67. So you're seeing a nice rise in the core products from Tesla, the Model 3 and the Model Y. Google Trends data for full self-driving is also trending in the right direction. After hitting 18, you are now back to 21, which suggests that that free trial of FSD and the trials that are taking place of FSD when people, get their new Teslas is a gift that continues to give for Tesla, likely getting more subscription revenue now. Basically every week, it's probably going up via the actions that Tesla has taken. And judging off of Google Trends, I think even people that got the 1 month free trial may, be opting into buying full self-driving or subscribing to full self-driving after the fact. Just judging on the Google Trends data we are seeing that has now plateaued a lot higher than where it was before. Tesla's global inventory numbers seem to be flatlining out after a couple of weeks of rising. The Model Y sitting at about 7,000 still, the Model 3 at about 6,000, the Model X at 3,700, and the Model S at about 2,700. And Tesla continues to run about 4,000 different ads with Google. Here today, CNN's Fear and Greed Index still says extreme fear at 24. This is not correct anymore. I don't know what's happening here. Markets are not extremely fearful at this point. So this thing might just be broken, if you want my honest opinion. Market momentum says fear, stock price strength, fear, stock price breadth, extreme fear, put and call options, extreme fear. Market volatility is neutral. Safe haven demand, extreme fear. Junk bond demand is extreme fear as well. And here you can see via the percent of stocks currently trading above their 50-day moving average. Today is a pretty good day across the board. You have 44.86% of stocks now trading above their 50-day moving average. That means about 3.5% of stocks today broke above their 50-day moving average. So that is definitely a decent day for markets, up 8.36% versus yesterday. 10-year Treasury yields are down quite a bit today as well, down about 5 basis points to 3.86%. And the fact that this is being coupled with stocks that are actually moving higher in aggregate, that's a good sign, because what we've seen recently when 10-year Treasury yields were falling around August 5th, that freak out, the Japanese yen trade collapsing, you actually seen stocks fall when yields were falling. The fact that stocks are rising now as yields are falling, that's great. And as long as the economic data with retail sales comes out good Thursday and CPI is good tomorrow, then I think there could be more of a rally here. But I think it's going to be really a broad-based rally and not as much an index led rally. You could see big tech yet again today is really the outperformer. Nvidia's up 5%, Apple's up almost 2%, Meta's up almost 2%, Amazon is up 1%, Google is up 1%, Microsoft's up almost 2%. It's really just I shouldn't say just, but a lot of this rally is big tech driven. So let me know what you think about this information down below in the comments section. If CPI is good tomorrow, retail sales are good on Thursday, then you're going to see Tesla's stock go quite a bit higher from here. And I still think these prices are good prices to buy Tesla if you have a long-term time horizon. Really, 6-12 months of a time horizon could be well sufficient to justify Tesla stock at $206 per share. But I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. I am nobody of influence to you that you should not make investment decisions based on what I think. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you made it to the end of this video. More importantly, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.